aka the Business Fixer. Happy New Year to you all. So today we are talking about how to create a business growth plan that works. Now, I call my business plans business growth plans. The reason why is often there's like an association to a business plan, that it's something that you create that sits in the drawer and you never really use. The whole point of putting it as a business growth plan is it means that it's actually going to be a document that you are going to be actively using. It's not something that just sits in the drawer, you create it once in a blue moon and forget about it. This is something that you create and you are consistently reviewing your business against your business growth plan. So I'm going to be talking about how you can create one that works. Now, I've recently been talking a lot about creating in terms of your, setting your goals and your objectives. Now, these are what you should be doing, which are long-term, mid-term, and short-term, because ultimately they all tie together. So when you're thinking about your long-term goals, that's your vision for your business. Where do you ultimately want the business to be in 5 to 10 years time? Do you want to sell your business? Do you want to, what do you want to do with it once you retire? Do you want to pass it down to family? Think about what your long-term goals are. Do you want it to be an international business? Do you want to have multiple office locations? Do you want to have a certain amount of staff? Think about the real long-term vision of what you are trying to create. Then from there, you can think about your midterm. So what's the midpoint of you reaching those long-term goals? And then your short-term is really in the next year, maybe 2 years max. And that's the sort of milestones that you need to reach to kind of get to your midpoint. So often with this, you are reverse engineering it so that you can work out what those action and those milestones that you need to reach. I don't want to talk all today about the goals, because I've talked about that on previous videos, and there is also a blog all about it. What I want to do is really focus on what's in your business growth plan. So your goals and objectives is one section. The very first section is your business overview. So this is whether you are a sole trader, limited company, what are your primary services, what is things like your vision, your mission, your values. That's just a general business overview. Then you go into your goals and objectives, which is what I've just touched upon. The next bit that we are then talking about is what are your services? So the services in much more detail. So, what are your offers? Breaking it down so you've got that clear information. That then will transpire across in terms of your marketing, because you can then use that structure. If you are one of these people that are starting to use AI like ChatGPT, if you've got this information in your business plan or your business growth plan, you can actually attach your business plan to ChatGPT. You can also just copy and paste the relevant information regarding your offers so that you can actually use ChatGPT to help you create social media content and putting your offers out there. Okay. So you're really breaking down, and think about what I call your value ladder. So you are literally, and to be fair, you're kind of doing it backwards in your business growth plan, in the fact that you'll have your most expensive offer at the top, going down to your least expensive, whereas your value ladder is literally like steps, and you start at the lower value. So you're just kind of doing the reverse of that within your business growth plan, and you need to be putting the real detail about it. So what is the end result that they're getting, and what is the actual offer they're getting, what are they getting for it? So I have a number of different offers. The first one is my VIP one-to-one coaching. Then I have the Peak Business Performance Accelerator. I then have, which will be coming out, and you'll see a bit more information about that, is my Business MOT. And I also have the Power Hour coaching. And there'll be other things that will be coming out during the course of this year. But they're the kind of the four core offers that I have. So that's what's included within my business growth plan. The next bit is your pricing. So what is your pricing for your services? Now, sometimes you might offer promotions, so you can potentially talk about those in that particular section. Okay. Once you've done that, you then are creating your financial summary. So, you would have set in your goals what your turnover intention is and what your profit intention is. But what you need to make sure that you've done is you've created a proper budget or financial forecast. So this is where you really need to go into considerable detail on this. So this is working out in terms of your turnover, your reverse engineering, how you're going to hit that target. So this is where you're going to be looking at what is your average transaction values for your services. Now, if you're working on a fixed fee basis, this is a heck of a lot easier, because what you can then do is say, right, well, this is one of my most profitable areas. I want to be able to obtain 2 new clients a month on this particular service, 2 new clients on this particular service. Now, I appreciate that in some businesses, that's sometimes a little bit more difficult to be able to kind of do, because you don't know necessarily what type of work's coming in. But do think about the type of work you actually want to be doing. What is it that lights you up? What is it that is the most profitable? And focus on those specific services when you're doing your budget, because you can then say, right, I want 3 clients of this particular service. I want 2 clients of this particular service each month. And that will then help me hit my ultimate revenue target. Then once you've worked out what your revenue target is going to be and you've put that in your financial forecast, the next is then to look at your actual monthly expenses. So, you will be able to, if you're using something like Xero, you can look back at your previous year and see where your expenses were, what it actually was, and you can use that to be able to help with your financial forecast. But do think about what are the additional expenses you are potentially going to be looking at during the course of this year. So is there certain things that you want to add in? So do you want to be able to buy certain machinery? Do you want to increase in terms of the amount of staff that you've had? So you've then got to work out your salary calculations so that you can include those within your expenses budget. Okay, so something like Xero, you can use Budget Manager, which will help you, and you can actually look at previous information within the Budget Manager. So that will help you, and then you can play around with the numbers to then hit where you want to be profit wise in terms of your goal. You can then export that document and you can attach that as an annex. But what that then does is it will then show your exact profit, your exact revenue that you're aiming for, your exact profit. And you can also then look at what your break-even point is, and you put that as a summary in the business growth plan with the actual financial forecast document as an annex, right? I'm going into quite a lot of detail here, but it's really important that these are some of the really important bits in terms of your business growth plan. Okay, then from there, you want to then be looking at something like your staffing strategy. So, are you wanting to, and attach as an annex your staff structure? So, what particular staff do you want to be incorporating into your business in the next year? And then you can actually start looking at your recruitment strategy. So, in terms of your recruitment strategy, how do you recruit? What is your actual process? When are you going to be saying, right, this is when we're going to start recruiting for an office administrator, for another accountant? And you can actually put that in there on what your process is. Another thing to be thinking about is things like your technology. So what technology do you currently have in your business, and what do you want to invest in the future? Now, a lot of online based businesses, we use a lot of software. You might, for example, one of the big pieces of software that I use is ClickFunnels. And you've got to be thinking about, is there going to be additional additional software that you're going to be adding in. Something that I've just realized, that prior to doing the technology bit, you need to be thinking about your staff training strategy. So what staff training do you want your members to be doing? So for example, for me as a business performance coach, I am always wanting to expand my knowledge. And during the course of this coming year, I want to be working on specific things like improving my SEO knowledge, improving my YouTube knowledge, improving how I can use LinkedIn more effectively, how I can improve my meta ads. So I'm going to be looking at what particular training I want to be doing, and you need to be doing that for your business and amongst all of your staff that you've got. What training opportunities do you want to give them, and making sure that that is all outlined. Ultimately, the end part of your business growth plan is how are you going to well, first of all, you need to actually put this into an action plan. Now, the action plan is likely to be, again, an attachment to the document. This is a setting out literally a plan of when you are doing what to be able to actually make these goals happen, to recruit this staff. So you're effectively creating like a calendar type scenario, or at least a table that says, okay, in January, we need to do X, Y, and Z. In February, we need to do X, Y, and Z. In March, we need to do X, Y, and Z. And each one of these things ties into the things that you have depicted in your business growth plan. The next thing is your test and measure. So this is really important. So this is the analysis to see that you are on target. So things like looking at your profit and loss, looking at in terms of the sales, are you actually getting the type of work in that you have said that you wanted to get in? You're also going to be looking at things like your competitor analysis. You need to be seeing what your competitors are doing in line with what you're doing. There is a number of different areas in which you will need to be making sure that you are testing and measuring that you are hitting the goals in which you have set, and that you can then also look at your planner, which is your action plan, to say, okay, have I done the things that I said I'm going to do? Have I recruited those staff? And you're constantly checking against the data, right? Now, I've done this in a very much a whistle-stop tour, but that is how you construct your business growth plan. This is something that you are looking at on a monthly basis to say, well, you need to be looking at your action plan to say, right, in January, these are the tasks that I need to do. And then forward thinking for, okay, is there any prep work I need to do in January for the things that I need to do in February, and so on, right? So it is a document that you are consistently using. Also update it. So if, for example, on your financial forecasting, you have something that is an expense that you weren't anticipating, you incorporate that into your budget. How does that then affect your numbers to hit your targets later in the year? This is something that you are consistently working with and on. Okay, so I hope that you've really got some valuable insights. If there are any questions, then please do make sure that you put your questions in the comments. I want to help you so that this is literally 2025 is your best year yet. I've gone into quite a bit of detail, but no means everything. Obviously, the one piece of advice that I will also just add in is your marketing plan needs to then tie in with your business growth plan. So if you've got any questions or comments, then please do let me know. In the meantime, if you would like to actually work on your business growth plan together, then you can book in a Power Hour coaching session. We now have a new page on the website, which has the, for you to be able to book in. I will put the link in the comments. Or alternatively, literally just say Power Hour, and I can then send you a link in the DM. So ultimately, if you want some help on building your business growth plan, I am here. I'm here to help you. Let's make 2025 your best year yet. Thanks for listening, and I shall see you all very soon.